Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this time on our live AMA. Ask me anything regarding website and e-commerce development. My name is Daniel. I'm with Trepoly, and we do e-commerce development here in the city of Denver. We are very honored to have you here today, and we're going to be opening the chat. So if you want to jump in and start um, asking any questions that you may have, we're going to be here today helping you with, website optimization, all your questions about, e-commerce and page speed, SEO, anything that you would like to discuss today. We just want to open this space for all of you um, out there in the world and, to be able to help you with any questions that you may have. We just want to be able to provide you with expert advice so that you can conquer the online space and whatever vertical you're in. We'd love to hear from you. So you jump ahead and start making any questions. We can also look at your site, give you feedback on, user experience and your checkout flow and anything that has to do with your website or with your online store. Thank you for being here today. And, today I would just like to start with this topic about slow websites and just poor page speed scores. Um, is if you're an online or a website uh, owner, you probably looking at those scores every now and then, or at least you should. PageSpeed Insights from Google will give you a very good idea of the experience that Google is perceiving from your website. Google uses their Chrome browser to gather a lot of data about your site, like when visitors go and click on your site from a search that they did or something like that. Google starts accumulating information about how fast your website is loading, whether everything, all the scripts and everything are loading in the correct order, and nothing is blocking the rendering of your page. And with that, they'll give you a score. So I encourage you, if you haven't, as a business owner, I encourage you to look at those page speed scores because it'll give you a lot of insight. It'll give you speed as well as SEO scores and usability, among other scores. So you can look at those. Those are broken down for your website, and you can start working on those elements. At Trepoly, that's something that we do regularly for our clients because they request, they need their online stores and their websites optimized, and if Google is not perceiving or seeing that the website is being worked on and that it's fast more than anything, they're going to drop your rankings, both on desktop and mobile. As a matter of fact, the page speed scores uh, have a section for desktop and for mobile. And that is because people experience your website differently on a desktop device than on a mobile device. Usually on a desktop, people are connected to Wi-Fi or directly through Ethernet. So speeds are really, really fast. But they also give you the scores for mobile because when people are out and about, sure, we use our phones all the time at home on Wi-Fi, but a lot of times we're out there, on the road, walking, shopping center, wherever, and those mobile speeds vary drastically from desktop speeds. So, Page Speed Insights will give a score for your website on desktop and mobile so that you can optimize for both platforms. So check them out, and that would be a very good tip for you today on optimization and website speed. Now, let's jump into e-commerce platforms. Let's talk about, say, the top three e-commerce platforms today. And those we will rank as Shopify, BigCommerce, and WooCommerce. Those three are the top contenders, and those are the top platforms that our clients are using just because of their uptime, flexibility, all the features that they offer out of the box. And there are two main platforms here that I would like to discuss. One are the hosted e-commerce platforms, which would be your Shopify and your BigCommerce, and the other one would be your self-hosted platforms, which would be your WooCommerce. If you're not familiar with WooCommerce, WooCommerce is a plugin that works and in tandem with WordPress. So you have a WordPress site that you can host anywhere you like, and you would add the WooCommerce plugin to it to turn the CMS into a e-commerce platform. So basically, WooCommerce adds all of the functionality that an e-commerce site would need to run on WordPress. Again, the big difference between these three is that two of them, Shopify and BigCommerce, are hosted. When you use one of their plans, they provide you the hosting and the software. And with WordPress, you download the WordPress software and you host it whatever you like. That has its advantages. WordPress can be a lot more open and more flexible. You can do, some really deep integrations on WordPress and WooCommerce that you might not be able to do on BigCommerce or Shopify, at least not natively. You might be able to use APIs and things like that, but just WordPress is very flexible when it comes to customizations. But it also entails a lot more maintenance. When you're on Shopify or BigCommerce, they take care of all the updates and the security. When you're on a WordPress with WooCommerce, you have to stay on top of your security and the updates that they push like every 2 or 3 months to the core WordPress software, along with your WooCommerce plugin updates and any other plugins that you might have running on WordPress. You are responsible for making sure that those are updated in a timely manner, and then you're keeping your site secure. But we'd like to hear from you. Like, which ones do you lean more towards? Like, are you more into the let's just jump into Shopify and get a site up and running with their software, or do you like to have more flexibility and access to customizations on WordPress? Something that ties back to the page speed scores is the fact that on Shopify and BigCommerce, you don't have access to tweaking any elements on the hosting server. There's just no option to go and do that. When you're running a WooCommerce with WordPress site, you whatever you choose to host your e-commerce store, you have more access to tweaking the details and fine tuning your hosting server. So that's something to keep in mind because you will be able to achieve, I would say that in general, you will be able to achieve better scores on page speed if you're using WooCommerce than if you're using BigCommerce or Shopify. There are just some elements that you will see listed on your page speed score as affecting the speed of your site that you simply can't touch on those kind of platforms. That's not saying that when you start building your Shopify or your BigCommerce store properly from the beginning, you will start with some very high page speed scores because their base themes are light and optimized. But once you start stacking apps and more scripts and analytics and all those little things that need to be added to a store to make it more robust, every one of them starts dinging your page speed score. So just something to tie those two subjects together. Um, if you're having any kind of conversion problems, your conversion rates are low, or you're dealing with a lot of abandoned carts. That was something that just earlier um, I've been back and forth, messaging with some people on BigCommerce, some BigCommerce merchants, because they're having this issue where they're having massive amounts of abandoned carts, and they're like, what's going on? I mean, it's obviously a bot that is, coming to our site and is just racking up cards and just dumping them at the very end. But why is this happening? In the beginning, they thought it was probably like an attack, maybe an attempt of a denial of service type of attack, or just bugging them, slowing down the site. But that's not the case, actually. I remember that we were talking to another merchant back in 2025, and we discovered that it wasn't any kind of attack. It was BigCommerce systems that are going through the motions of checking for uptime and reliability and the robustness of the stores, and security, and checkout flows and all those kind of things. And it's their system that it's actually running all those cards on the BigCommerce merchants, just to make sure that everything is working right. And that might not be a very big deal for brands that are selling, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars on the big commerce platform. But for merchants that, are smaller, they're starting up or something like that, to see that amount of abandoned carts, it's very problematic. And even for larger brands, because it's affecting the analytics and the conversion rate numbers that you see in your analytics. Is just all of this traffic from this tool from BigCommerce, and just racking up abandoned carts really, really quick on a very short amount of time. So it's something to keep in mind. You always want to keep an eye on your conversion rates, but check with the platform that you're using. If you start to see some strange behavior like that, a lot of times you just need to call them, talk to support, and they'll tell you, yeah, it's our system going through the motions. Just give it a few days, and you shouldn't see any of that anymore. But this person, on a support forum, um, was asking about it, and really using a lot of their energy and trying to understand it. Um, and something I did mention to this merchant is that you want to be careful what kind of steps you take to stop those bots, because he mentioned about using captcha and requiring signing to check out and things like that. I was like, whoa, 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 hold on, because those are bots, but you don't want to add friction to your checkout flow for your real customers. So, um, he was taking some serious steps trying to stop that bot from racking up the abandoned carts. But at what point it really is not necessary, um, when you're instead taking steps that might interfere and actually lower your conversion rates from true um, customers. So, keep that in mind if that's something that you're facing with your online store, or even with your website. Talking about content websites. Here in Denver, we see a lot of service businesses that have their contact forms, where they collect leads from the visitors that come to their site. And if you make that form, if you add friction to that form, trying to stop the spam or trying to stop bots, you could actually be hurting your conversion rate and your leads, because you're probably adding extra steps or adding the captcha. which capture is fine if you can do, or you can use the invisible type, where only pops up when it detects that it's a bot and it's invisible to humans. That's okay. You can sometimes add a little delay of how fast a form can be submitted. And I'm talking 2, 3 seconds, because bot will go to your site real quick and start just submitting those forms if they can. But when you set a delay and you enforce that delay through a plugin or through an app, then bot will not be able to submit those forms as quickly, and you will reduce the amount of spam that you are getting through your own contact forms. But uh, in that subject, always remember to ask as little information as possible to make the connection to your customer. So you don't want to give them a very long contact form where they're going to get distracted, their phone is going to ring, they're going to walk out of the room because they need to do something else. You want to be very precise and very mindful about what information you're asking up front from your visitors. That way, you will receive more um, contact form submissions than if you go through a long list of questions for the visitor. So keep that in mind. Uh, are any of you doing feedback, like real time feedback from clients or from um, yeah, just people that go to your site, and it's asking them to go to your site and look through the pages and see if they actually understand what it is that your website or your business offers. That would be a good tool for you. Just ask people, look at my site and tell me if it's clear, or if it's confusing, or a lot of times business owners spend so much time writing the content for their pages that even misspellings or duplicate content, things like that, they don't see it anymore because they are so involved on working on it and looking at it so many times and reviewing it, that a lot of times some very obvious things might be skipped. So ask somebody to look at your website and your online store with fresh eyes. We are engaged with our Denver network community online, so we're always available to you if you want us to take a look and give you our honest feedback. Trepoly has been in business on the website and e-commerce development industry for many years, and we have a very good team of experts that will look at your site with their expertise in mind, and give you just feedback. Maybe you need to fix this on mobile, or maybe you have too much text and people are not reading, they're just scanning as quickly as possible through your page. Maybe your video is not loading correctly, or it's not formatted correctly for mobile or for desktop, and all those kind of things jump at us very quickly, um, and we can give you some very good feedback very fast, and for free. We're really not going to charge you anything to give you feedback on your site and tell you what you can be working on. So use this space as a good reference and a good resource for you. We're going to be doing these live AMAs consistently, so that you can come to us and you can ask any questions. And we want to work with you, but we want to give you feedback. We really want you to succeed online, and you're not going to be able to achieve that with a poorly designed site or with a confusing online store. So um, make use of this space. This is really for you. We enjoy what we do. A lot of times we'll do just drive-by reviews of websites and online stores, and see what pops up, and we can do some very quick analysis of things that need to improve on their site and your site. So we can always look at your competitors too if you want us to do that. We can look at your website and we can look at your competitor's website and tell you how you stack up, in the eyes of uh, somebody that is coming to your site for the first time. So, very good insight for you right there. Um, what kind of SEO challenges are you facing? Everybody wants to rank higher and better on not just search engines, but now also AI agents, whether it's on ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot. What are you doing to address all of that? Right now, they've gone through the web already, those LLMs, and they try to understand what different businesses do, and what is your product and your value proposition. But sometimes they might get it wrong. So I would encourage you to be proactive about giving them and feeding them the information that they need to have a clear understanding about your services and your products, whether it's your service area, within a metropolitan area, for example, here in Denver, what are the areas that you cover and the areas that you don't. Um, your business hours, your contact information and address. You might be surprised, but sometimes those AI agents might get some information wrong. And something else that you can do is ask them what is their uh, opinion or their perspective on your brand. And you'll be surprised about the kind of things that you can dig, and you'll get a clear picture of how those AI agents perceive your brand, your business, the reviews that you receive for your services and products. And with that information, you're arming yourself with enough uh, details that you can go and address them. Maybe they'll say, well, this website or this brand or this company seems very strong in this area, but a little weak on this other service area. So, find out from them directly how is it that your brand and your website and your online store is perceived, and that's going to help you a lot. It'll give you a lot of insights and just overall information on the things that maybe your competitors are doing, and they're ranking better when somebody's asking for a plumber in the Rhino neighborhood, for example, or something like that. So, um, I would like to see. Let's take a look at the questions and who's coming in and what kind of challenges you're facing. For example, on SEO, you we'd love to help you with all of that. So include any questions that you might have, are also on, let's see, Google Analytics and tracking. Yeah. So Google Analytics it's a free tool from Google that you can integrate with your website and your online store, and it will give you a lot of information about who is visiting your site, where are they coming from, how they ended up on your site, if they were referred from a different website, how long they're staying on your site, if they're actually engaging with your content or just bouncing very quickly. Um, so analytics, Google Analytics for we strongly recommend that you use that tool from Google. On every um, project that we build, whether it's a content website or an e-commerce store, we always include the integration with Google Analytics 4. Why? Well, because it's a very useful tool for anyone who, has a website. So we really want you to have all of that information and those kind of tools up front when your website is delivered to you or your online store, so that you can make better informed decisions. You'll want to see what are the peak days when people visit your website. Maybe you're running pay-per-click campaigns and you can track that in Google Analytics, or you're doing social media posting and you see what kind of impact those posts are having in your traffic, or you're also doing email marketing and you are tagging your links in your email pieces with Google tracking um, tags. You can see all of that in Google Analytics 4, so we strongly recommend that you use that tool from them. Um, how about for those of you Denver businesses that run an online store and that you are not certain about your checkout flow? Are you making it hard for customers to check out? Is it clear how they go from looking at your product to adding it to the cart to estimating shipping to completing their payment? That's something that you should be running through fresh eyes as well, because you might not notice that you're adding friction to your checkout flow. um, Recently we've been working on direct to checkout landing pages, which can be integrated on any kind of online store, and those direct to checkout pages are very useful for pay-per-click campaigns specifically, because when you direct your customer from your ad to this direct checkout page, all of the distractions are removed. There is no navigation or social media links or no fluff, nothing else. Almost you're trying to get them to land on the page because they look at your product ad already. So they're interested in the product. They just land on the product page, which is a direct to checkout page. And all they see there is, pay now, checkout, um, you know, get it now. And those buttons and those call to actions, when the user clicks on that, it takes them directly to the checkout page, to the payment checkout page, not to a cart page, not to a related products upselling page. It's just directly from the direct checkout page to the checkout. And that's it. It's either buy or, bounce. But you try not to give them any other kind of, distractions or routes to follow, not going to different product categories or anything like that. It's just land and checkout. So think about those. We created a blog post about those direct to checkout pages. For those of you who are interested in learning more about it, you can go to our website, trepoly.com /news. That's where you will find all of our blog posts. And yeah, look for the direct to checkout post. You can learn a few tricks right there. And I think you're going to like it. Um, what else could be, blocking your growth online? Is it like we talk about speed? Is it that you are using the wrong e-commerce platform and you reach a ceiling on the extensibility and the features that you find on your current e-commerce platform? Is it conversion problems or abandoned carts and bots? Is it SEO challenges or just not having the right tracking tools and analytics to make informed decisions. Whatever it is that is, hindering or blocking your growth online, use us as a resource. I would like you to reach out and let us know what is it is that you're struggling with. Just recently, we started a poll on social media asking business owners, exactly that, like, what is the hardest part uh, from managing your website? The one thing that that you're just putting off because you don't know how to fix it, and you know that you need to go ask online and how do I take care of this or that for your website, and it's going to take you time and energy to try to figure it out and then try to solve it. So what is it? We will love to hear from you. um what's that one thing that keeps you up at night, and that that it's preventing your business website from bringing more sales for your business. So yeah, share that with us. If you are on social media, you can find us on Facebook, on X, on Instagram. um, what else? We're also publishing to Flipboard, and there are many ways for you to get in touch with us, and use us as a resource for all your website development and e-commerce development needs. We really enjoy helping our community. We are reaching out to different organizations here in the Denver metro area because we want to network and hear from you directly in person if possible. It doesn't have to. We can also do online networking. But yeah, we're going to be very active through 2026 with volunteering, with just trying to give some classes, in-person classes or online classes for all those of you Denver entrepreneurs and Denver business owners that want to grow your online presence. The Denver market is thriving. I mean, I think there's so much potential in Colorado and in Denver metro area. So much with the outdoors and food and health services, wellness, and you name it. Just Colorado and the Denver metro area is thriving with ideas and with new entrepreneurs that are coming up with new kind of businesses all the time. So we would love to help you. We really appreciate you stepping by and watching this live stream. If you've made it this far in the video, hit like. That would really help us reach more audiences, a larger audience. Subscribe to our channel and remember to hit the notification bell so that you can get those notifications. We're gonna go live, and you can come back in and continue asking about how you improve your website. But take the time to like, follow, and subscribe. We really appreciate that. You're starting to build an audience, and if you know of another business owner who could benefit from these AMAs, please point them our way. We'd love to hear from them too. Um, and if you have any other questions, we would love to receive your emails. You can also call us. You can reach us at 303-335-0719. Again, that phone number is 303-335-0719. You can drop us an email to hello@trepoly.com, or just reach out on social media. We are available to you, and remember to follow us on social media too, because we're going to be publishing um, more posts, more information about how to continue growing your website operation, your e-commerce site, and whatever you need, we're going to be there for you. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you in the next video.